Page 42, the ash grove. At the top of the page, they're talking about 16th notes in 3/8 time. Doesn't matter what the time signature is. A 16th note is a 16th note. But when you're counting eighth notes, then the 16th note comes on the end. So it's in 3/8, it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Those are eighth notes. So if I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, those are 16th notes. That's all. So in the first full measure there at the beginning, you have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 and 3 and 1. See, it's not complicated. Don't make it hard. It's just you're doing a 1 and 2 and 3 and for 3/8 time. If it were in 3/4 time, then 16th notes would be counted 1 and a 2 and type thing. But in 8 time, 3/8 time, simply because there are two 16th notes in an 8th note. Also, at the top, they're talking about a change of key signature. Now, we've already had a change of clef, where they change the clef sign in the middle of a piece, and the clef signs can change anytime, anywhere, any number of times. Good luck. Well, a key signature can also change anytime, almost, anywhere, almost. Good luck. Yeah. Almost, because the key signature has to change at the beginning of a measure. It can't change in the middle of a measure. A clef can change anytime. In the middle of a measure, anytime it wants to, wherever. Look at the end of the last, the end of the second line, yeah. You'll notice the change of key they pointed out. They put in natural signs and then gave you sharp signs. Well, this piece started out at the beginning with 1 flat in the key of F. Okay, so when they do the key signature like this, they want to change it to the key of G, 1 sharp. So they first have to erase the flat sign, because if they didn't, the flat would continue on. So then you would end up with 1 sharp and 1 flat. I've never heard of that. Good luck trying to keep straight. So what they do is they put in natural signs to erase the flats. We don't want the B flat anymore. And now they're introducing the sharp sign. If they were going to go back to B or back to F major again later, they change the key signature again. They would put in natural signs for the sharps and then put the flat signs back in. And that's how they change key signatures. It can be a lot of fun. You just imagine. They talk about transposition. Really, transposition is when you have something in one key and you're going to play the same thing in a different key. And that's really what this is. This piece starts out in F. And then at the end of the second line, they transpose it into G major. It's the same piece. It's just in a different key. And that's what transposition is. A lot of people, what they will do is they'll transpose in their head. They'll just do it. And that can be a lot of fun if you're looking for a challenge. If you like puzzles to figure things out, take a piece, a simple piece, in one key, and say, I'm going to play that same piece in a different key, and see if you can figure it out. So for the ash grove, let's just talk about this. In the right hand, look at the fingering. It's a 1, 2, 3. Normally I would prefer a 4 on that A, but in this case a 3 is okay because we got a B flat coming up in a minute. Now, I like to use different fingers on repeated notes most of the time, not always. In this case, in that for those 2 F's on the second full measure, thumb on both is fine. Now, in the last measure, they're saying second finger on the C. I think third finger works a little better. Cross over on third, because then you're in position. It's a personal thing. You can use second finger if you want, but I suggest you try third and see what you think. Then in the second line, you're starting out okay. They're saying second finger, but then you got to use your thumb on that B flat. Ugh. So I suggest instead of second finger, you use third finger. So you can use second finger on the B flat. I tend to avoid putting a thumb on a flat or on a black note if I can help it, because the thumb is such a short finger. It's just handy. I don't have to move the hand up into this awkward area where the black notes are. So it doesn't always work out. Sometimes you have to, but in this case you don't have to. In the third line down, last two measures, look at this. They're saying second finger on the F sharp. Again, I think third finger works better. Now last line, first measure, look at the fingering. 4, 3, 1, 3, 2. I like that. I suggest you use that. That's good. In the left hand, for the most part, it's okay. Use the fingering they're telling you. In the second line, look out for the 2/8 rests. We want to hear the 8th rests in the left hand. As you're playing those 16th notes, the left hand should be quiet, so it's okay. Now, for the second and third measures of the second line in the left hand, you're starting here, the B flat F. They're saying a 5/2, that's fine. And I recommend, for the C, I recommend a fourth finger. And then a thumb on the B flat. It's a stretch, but you can reach it, I hope. Like so, just to connect the notes a little. In the last line, again, in the left hand, we want to hear the 2/8 rests, so the 16th notes in the right hand are by themselves. Okay, then you have a 2/5 in the left hand, here. And then for the next measure, I recommend a 4 on the D, and then a 1 on the C, to connect them. There's no pedal in this, so the fingers are going to do it all. The phrasing, again, I recommend a break between the phrases, and that's in the right hand, not the left. So if I play the second full measure of the first line, we're here, then you're going to lift up and down. Now it's easy to do when it's a repeated note on piano, because when you lift up, you get silence, unless you're using pedal, which we're not. So you're going to get the silence. Just think like an inhale there. Sometimes it helps to inhale between the phrases, if that helps you feel the phrase. And then at the end of the line, again, a phrase. The second line, second measure, a phrase. Lift up. So we want to hear a break between the phrases. So 3, time with a pickup. I don't know if 2 counts is enough. I'm going to give us 5 counts and let's begin. I'll give full 3 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, ready, go, blah, blah. 1, 2, 3, ready, go.